Welcome to our video series on offering instant software downloads to your visitors. In this video, we'll look at the steps necessary to create the instant quiz generator. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick talk through of the instant web quiz generator. Well, how and why it works. And I actually have the code for the software here. As you can see, it's in a web page, a .html web page. It's in a web page, so let me open this in Notepad. And you can see some of the code there. What's important to know, okay, you can see some of the code here. It's a standard web page, but large sections of it are script, specifically JavaScript. And JavaScript is a programming language that you can add to web pages to do certain things. For example, whenever you visit a web page and you get a pop-up, that pop-up is appearing because of JavaScript. You know, a web page by itself is, in a way, purely decoration. JavaScript allows you to have interaction and more functionality. And then, when used in depth, JavaScript, as you can see, can be very powerful. So basically, all it is a web page with a ton of JavaScript to create the quiz functionality. And what I've done to turn this from merely a web page into something that can be sold as software is I've bundled it into an ebook. And of course, I'm not talking about PDF, Adobe Acrobat ebooks. I'm talking about the .exe ebooks. Their names end in .exe, which stands for executable, which basically means something that ends in .exe, you double-click it and it starts. So effectively, .exe is software, or in this case, an ebook which I've put JavaScript into. So that's basically what I do. I have JavaScript created and then create a few web pages around it. And then I compile those pages and the code into a single ebook, so that when it's clicked, the ebook starts and the software effectively starts as well, because it's part of the ebook. Okay, so let's close this now. Let's go to the browser, and what I personally use for creating ebooks and for creating software in this way, if you go to eBook Compiler, this is the software I use. You can download it in a trial version, and you can purchase it for just under $30. I purchased it maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I've used it so much it's been a very good investment, a very good purchase. I've seen software similar to this selling for as much as $200. But I don't believe there's any need to spend that much on an ebook compiler because this one works very well. It's what I use. Okay, what I've done now is open up a folder on my computer which contains all the files I'm going to compile into my ebook software. So as you can see, there are a number of GIFs, a number of graphic files, and a JPEG as well, which is also a graphic. The project.aep file is the project file for the ebook software. And then I have some web pages which make up the content of the ebook, of the software. And you need an index.html file because that's the first that gets opened when you open up the ebook. And then, as you can see, multiple choice quiz.html, singleanswerquiz.html, those web pages contain the JavaScript code that makes up the functionality of the software. And there are a couple of further files that I'll talk you through at a later stage. For example, if I click, hold, and drag this graphic into the browser, that's one of the graphics that becomes part of the ebook. And let me resize this so we can see it easier. Next one, another graphic. And another graphic. So these all became part of the ebook. They're all referenced from web pages that go into the ebook. Okay, if we scroll past the graphics, the index.html, let's look at that. Okay, this is the front page of the ebook after it's opened, and then the user would click the link and be taken to the table of contents, which is this page, tableofcontents.html. And that's how it looks. And then, for example, this create a quiz with single answer questions goes to this web page, which contains the JavaScript that creates it's the JavaScript code that creates this functionality. Okay, so let's maximize this. So that's basically what I've done. Using the ebook compiler, I've created a project, and then I've taken these graphics, these web pages, two of which contain the JavaScript code that actually creates the functionality, and I've compiled all that into a single ebook. And the ebook looks like this. So this is sold, and that's my software. And even though it's in a sense an ebook, well, it is of course an ebook because it has so much JavaScript code with a lot of software functionality, it can be very happily sold as software because it does something very useful. And you know, it's a lot more interactive than a regular ebook, so it is software. I mentioned this briefly in the previous video, but a reason why I'm demonstrating how to create software in this way, rather than perhaps some of the more technical advanced ways, is because this is very quick. It's easy to do, and you don't need any expensive software. You need an ebook compiler, and JavaScript is quick and easy to create. You can either learn it yourself or just hire someone. I'll talk you through that in more detail. So it's cost-effective. It's quick and easy to do compared to other ways to create software. As I mentioned, it's inexpensive. It's not overly technical compared to other possible ways. So it's a great way to get started creating software, to sort of dip your toe in the water of creating software, so to speak. And as you can see, this sort of software can be very powerful and very useful, and I'm sure you'll come up with plenty of ideas. But I'll also talk you through how to come up with your own ideas too. So that's basically what I actually do to create this software. In the coming videos, I'll talk you through in detail, step by step, exactly how to do this yourself. How to plan your software, how to get the code created, how to turn it into an ebook, how to test your software, very important, and how to come up with as many ideas as you'd like to.